ordered stuff, I thought we could order, and then they'd call us and be like, oh, actually, like, you guys live too far out of our delivery area. Sorry, but we can't, I was just like, no! So,
Country life.
hi guys, we are making a video today about why we left Seoul. I was waiting to make this video because, you have to live in a place for a while before you can talk about it. And I just started to commute from Seoul, from our new house. We live outside of Seoul now, for those who don't know. So I thought we can talk about that now. So we've been in Seoul like really long time.
5 years.
5 years. And
Slightly
we
more
liked
than
it.
5 years.
We did like it.
Yeah.
So the first reason we left Seoul is very clear. It's the cost. So it was getting like crazy expensive to live in Seoul by the time our contract was finishing. So for example, there was an apartment cluster that they built in front of us when we first moved into our villa. And when it first started selling, like the smallest unit was like, how much was it at the time?
It was only around like, not only, it was quite expensive, like 400,000.
400,000.
Yeah, which is ridiculous because the unit was quite small.
Mm-hmm. Really
But,
small for
yeah.
a family this big.
When we were about to move out, it became like more than double, like 800,000 or more.
Yeah, more than 800,000, so like almost $1 million. So I remember when they first built it, we were thinking like, oh, it's small, but like, maybe someday we can like save up our money really hard and work really hard and we can like move into this apartment. But our dreams got crushed by reality. And I started kind of getting depressed because I always looked around on like websites online in Seoul and I was like, wow, I can't even live like in like the oldest, like most broken apartment that I can find. So yeah, Seoul got really, really expensive.
Yeah, I think last 5 years for like main area or near the subway station, it became double or more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we used the chonse system before, which is like you put a huge deposit down on a house. You don't have the house, but you can live there usually for like 2 years.
Yeah. Usually 2 years and we can extend another 2 years and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So we were living that way because we didn't have to pay rent. It was like a really nice system for saving money. However, that system is like disappearing from Seoul because there's some sort of tax or higher tax that homeowners have to pay these days.
What was it? It was like they made a new law about like to protect the tenants, but
It backfired.
yeah, it's also quite like because they made a new law to protect the tenants, the supply became quite shrunk.
Yeah, the supply went down. So.
And it's also like they have to either like put like higher amount for their deposit as a landlord. So it's really complicated. Everything is like linked together and like in the end it's really hard to find the jeonse options. The house price went up so high and
So
also
fast.
jeonse was really like high. So we had to choose either we're getting like jeonse options because at that time it was impossible to buy a house in Seoul
Super
because
impossible.
we wanted to have a house like at least the same size or
Like a bit smaller.
like a little bit smaller but almost the same size because we have a dog and a baby.
The new one coming. We didn't know that at the time.
So it was like we had to choose between like buy a house suburb area
Like
outside
outside.
of Seoul or get another jeonse option.
What was that sound? Are you okay? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. What do you think about leaving Seoul? So we had to make a realistic choice. So we started to look kind of like outside of the city.
Yeah.
Like this. And we were quite surprised because the quality of what you can get is so much better. Like so much better. I mean, it depends on how far you're willing to go. But definitely way bigger apartments, way newer apartments for more reasonable prices. Still expensive to me because we don't have any like previous investments, like we saved up the money ourselves and we worked really hard. And luckily, Jay's super responsible and diligent and like good with saving money and like budgeting and stuff. So like I don't think I could have done this myself because I am just not good at budgeting. But he's really good at those type of things. So because of him, we have a house. We have a loan. It's not like we just bought the house like fully or something. We have a loan, but we were able to have enough money so that we could get the loan we needed and just everything is good. So yeah, we worked hard. And so when we left Seoul, we saw that the houses were definitely more affordable. In Seoul, if you're looking for an apartment, it's like 600,000 to like $1 million plus, right? But out here, you can find a house between 300,000 something to like 600,000 something.
Yeah, it's totally up to the location.
Yeah. So, but there are options out there, and for us, I looked at like crazy. Like I was every day like looking online to find a place to live, and I found this area that we're living in, which is cheap, I think, because it's a little bit inconvenient because there's really not much going on here, which we can talk about later. But I really liked it because it had parks and nature, and it was very like family oriented. But the apartments, when we were looking at them in this area, were around like 300,000. And this apartment building's really quite new, actually. Not like brand new, like Shindoshi, like new town level, but still, it's quite like a modern apartment. He's like, what is he doing? What are you doing?
Don't climb up, Hayden.
So when we were looking at this apartment, it's around like 300,000 something, but it's already gone up like 100,000 something. So we really, like the timing was really important because our budget was like 300 something thousand. So if it was as expensive as it is now, we haven't even been living here a year, 6 months, right?
Yeah.
6-7 months. We wouldn't have been able to get it, which is good for us, but actually quite alarming for other people because other people these days are like having struggle like we did looking for housing, and it's like now even if you live outside of the city, although still way more reasonable than Seoul, it's already getting more expensive like quite quickly. So.
Yeah, it's some sort of balloon effect because Seoul is so like fully
See that we're being attacked.
fully overpriced.
Everyone's leaving the city like we
Yeah, and people are like sick of like the crazy price of Seoul apartment and Seoul houses. So suburb area became like somewhat like more
desirable.
expensive.
It's definitely a housing crisis. Like, I don't know what Korea is gonna do about it, and I know Korea is not the only country with this problem. My hometown actually is getting really bad as well. Here you go. But yeah, anyways, we moved really at the good, like, right time, and definitely the quality, the size, the everything, other than, I guess, the convenience, is way better living outside of Seoul. Would you agree?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, some of the pros and cons. So first of all, life quality. So much better, in my opinion, here than it was in Seoul. Like, first of all, I don't know if it's just our neighborhood, but tons of families, like tons and tons of like new families and dogs and like exactly just like us type of situation. Like I see always kids are like playing outside. There's a lot of like parks here.
Yeah.
Life is a lot slower. People look a lot happier. Like look how happy this baby is. This is a happy baby. What do you think about like life quality difference between Seoul and when we moved here?
In my opinion, still in Seoul, like if we have like trillion of money.
Oh yeah. If you're rich in Seoul,
Yeah.
life quality is gonna be
Seoul
better.
is awesome. Like
For rich people.
we can find the nature and like we can find like metropolitan city, downtown everywhere. It's so convenient. But like at least we have to have like 1.5 million to 2 million. Like
to have like
really in the middle of the city, but like nature together and that level.
So,
But I think like from here we're like not that level. Because we're gonna talk about cons later, but for the nature and the park and
the atmosphere.
Like a peaceful atmosphere, like living environment, plus like somewhat like we can like, be relaxed.
Every time I go
It's
for
really
a
good.
walk, like I'm in such a good mood because everyone else is just in such a good mood. But yeah, I don't know. I found it's a lot more peaceful here for sure.
But we have cons too.
Yeah, the con. My number one con. My number one con.
Maybe because we love to eat tons of things.
And me not being Korean, like I like to eat things that are not Korean food sometimes, but there is like almost no beta in this area.
No, that's bullshit.
It's not bullshit. There's some, but it's like really expensive Baydelphi because it's super far away.
To me, all the basic things are around here, like chicken, pizza, Chinese
All the basic
food.
Korean things.
But yeah, she loves to eat like sometimes Indian food.
Yeah, I want Indian curry sometimes.
Yeah,
Like,
Vietnamese or Thai.
Yes.
Yeah, all the things, but it's really hard to find the options around here.
Impossible. I mean, we found sushi. We found a really good sushi place. I'm feeling a little happier and more like optimistic about it these days. But I'm eating like cooked like roll sushi right now because I'm pregnant. But I'm very happy about that. But at the beginning, we were using a different app, and it was like every time we ordered stuff, I thought we could order, and then they'd call us and be like, "Oh, actually, like you guys live too far out of our delivery area. Sorry, but we can't." You know, it's just like no. So.
Country life.
But one good thing is that if you move outside of Seoul, because so many other people are moving outside of Seoul, they're like continuously developing the surrounding areas. So like around us, not like directly around us, like we'd have to drive like maybe 5 minutes, but it's going to affect delivery for sure. They're building like new apartments, new cities and stuff like that. And I think that's basically every direction you go outside of Seoul these days. Yeah, so in the future, I will have my delivery hopefully restored to me, and that will be comfortable again. Other than that, the only other thing that's uncomfortable is the commute.
Commute, yeah.
He hasn't
it's
experienced
really
it
good.
yet.
Still, it's really close to get to Seoul.
Yeah, it's quite fast, actually. It is a little bit stressful because the subway's very packed.
하나, 둘, 셋.
Whee! But yeah, the commute is obviously like before when we were living in Seoul, it took me like 20 minutes to go to work and you like 15 or something.
Yeah.
Like, so it's definitely takes longer. Okay, here we go again. Just bring him here. Let him go down one more time.
So I think the main point of getting a house here, it's all about like how stable we can live all together, like
Yeah.
for our family. So it's not about like investing, it's not about like expecting something. It's only about like,
Life quality.
yeah, will our family be like stable and like happy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that aspect, I'm so satisfied. Yeah.
The one thing I'm a bit worried about is I think that once Jay starts working, he's gonna come home a little bit later. So there's definitely gonna be less time like all together during the weekdays. We'll have the weekends together, which will be great. But other than that, really like I think moving was the best decision we ever made. And I was really hesitant to move for a long time because I was like, oh, Seoul's so convenient. Like I don't think I can live outside of Seoul. Like I really kind of liked Seoul for the most part. I mean, there's things I didn't like. But after moving, it's been 6 months now, but I think like it's the best decision we made. And I feel way less stressed these days about our like future and stuff like that now that we live here.
I think it's like that we have to pay like cost. I mean like we're gonna have less time, but we can enjoy better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come with us. At this point, you should just come with us.
So we are satisfied.
Hayden is satisfied.
쟤는 안녕.
Good job. Ready?
You come say bye bye.
Ready?
하나, 둘, 셋.
Whee! Okay, Hayden, bye 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 bye. Bye 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 bye.
빠이빠이 헤이든.
이게 뭐야? Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 bye. Filming videos with the baby. Okay. Anyways, yeah, so the reason I made this video is that I saw like some comments, like other people were considering like, oh, maybe we should move outside of Seoul as well, and they're curious about like the range of how much our house costs and etc. etc. So I wanted to make this video eventually, and I thought now was a good time. That's all for now. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys again soon. So goodbye.
헤이든 빠이.
Yay! See you guys again soon.